and I'm deliberately being provocative here, there's this constant Mercedes versus Audi, very peculiar to India. By the end of every month, like we are on top, because I don't see you guys being so vocal in any other part of the world. So I was rather curious if...
No, I think, I think Audi's been a wonderful success story here.
It has.
I think we came to the country in 2007 a lot later than our competitors did. And the growth story has been phenomenal. Every year we've grown. In fact, we're the only luxury car manufacturer that's grown year on year since we've come to the country. Even in maybe turbulent and economic headwinds, we've still managed to grow. So I think that's been a wonderful story. Of course, we've led the market for the last 2 years, but it's also a long-term view that we have. I think it's any country is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's built on strong fundamentals. We're not here to be number one every month.
Right.
We're here to make sure that we have a very, very good business model for the many, many years to come, and that we do.
Right. So what we hear, this constant banter. Once upon a time it used to be rather intense, but right now, lately it's tapered off to...
Let me just say that maybe that's driven more by your side of the table than our side of the table.
No, what we read in the press. I mean,
yeah. So I think that's a lot. To be honest, there's a lot of the story driven by the press, and it's a story. But for me, the job is a much bigger one than who's number one for 1 month or 2 months. I mean, it's about a long-term strategy, and I think we have a very, very good strategy. It's taken us to where we are, and it will take us into the future to make sure this is a very, very good market and continues to be a very good market for Audi worldwide.
Right. And between, I guess, 07 and 14, the remarkable thing I hear from a whole lot of CEOs in the car industry is how the market is constantly changing with every year. So typically when you look at the remainder of this decade, you think it's going to be far more in terms of offering opportunities than even the last 7 years that went by.
Yeah, look, I think particularly the last few years, perhaps the growth has not been there in the luxury market. It's been quite stable. But when you look at the economic fundamentals, I think the signs are good.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the key interest rates are coming down. GDP is showing growth. The government's policy is very stable, and I think a lot of these things are really positive signs for the future.
But yet, when I look at your presentation, I did a little homework before coming here, and look at 2017 your projections in China, which are over 700,000. Clearly, that's a market that's, I think, in terms of disposable income levels, just moved on to...
Look, I think a lot of people would like to always make a comparison between China and India, but I think that every market is in its own way unique, and in its own way not unique. I think the really positive thing about India is it's a young country.
That's true.
It's a very optimistic country by nature. I think that's very, very important for any economy. When I compare to Australia, which perhaps over the years has had a lot of stronger fundamentals, but perhaps is not so optimistic by nature, and that can sometimes have a bigger impact on...
You think so? Does that have to do with the sheer numbers of people? 15 million in Australia versus 25 million in Bombay?
No, I think it comes to do with a bit of the culture of the people. I think the Indian culture by nature is very competitive, aspirational, optimistic, and I think it's something that really is not spoken about a lot, but is something that's really positive for...
I find it interesting. You mean dynamics like that do have a say in car buying?
I think they have a say in the success of the country in general. I think, in my view, the culture of the people has a big impact. You look at the young achievers, which are the ones that really come to the Audi brand.
Right.
There's a lot of these people who are self-made in a generation, and that's a lot about passion, commitment, competition.
You bet.
competitive nature.
So that's what I was getting to, what I started earlier, between '07 and the time you started your journey and right now. The age demographics have also changed dramatically, haven't they?
Yeah, correct.
So I'm curious about what's a typical Audi customer like across your models if you have to give a average bandwidth, if you will.
Yeah.
Would it be 25 to 40 for instance?
It changes quite regularly, but early 30s now would be,
Still,
which is very, very young, particularly worldwide when you look